Hello, Nee. Thank you for joining. Oh, shoot. I almost hit my head. Well, I did hit my head, actually. Hey, Nisha. Thank you for joining, sweetheart. Thank you for joining. Hello, Swig Squad. Good evening. I hope you all had a nice Saturday, because it's about to be over right quick. I came before y'all because I had forgot. I want to talk about something I had forgot to talk about. Let me wait a minute. Let a couple people in. Shout out to Entertainment You Love. Yo-Yo is just, she's so helpful. Anybody trying to get connected to social media and get paid from it, get monetized, you want to holler at her. Her name Yo-Yo. Her channel is called Entertainment You Love. And she is the truth, for real. So, I come before y'all this wonderful Saturday evening because I wanted to talk about this Dr. Umar thing. So, for the ones that don't know who Dr. Umar is, he is the best way I can describe him is like a black activist, maybe. Hello, buddy. Thank you for joining. Like a black activist, maybe. Somewhat of whatever. But anyway, he was supposed to be opening up a school called Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy. He started it like 10 years ago. Hello, Michael. He started it like 10 years ago, but never opened it. He been getting donations just from everybody all around the world. Hello, John. And he get donations for this school that he never opened up. And it sounds like it probably would have been a good school had he opened it up. He has not, opened it up, and he keeps talking about it and stuff. But he also speaks about, but it sounds like, it's the way he described it, it's supposed to be a school for African American young boys with a bunch of African American male teachers and instructors and counselors and deans and all African American males. And he had all types of programs. The way that he described it to me sounded like it could be, a good deal. However, he not following through with it, because all the money he done collected, he still to this day has not opened up a school. But he also has conversations in regards to relationships and how he really hates the interracial relationships, and he don't want you to, if you're a black man, he don't want you to, indulge with nobody other than us as far as dating. But recently, a young lady came out and said that she was his daughter, and he went on there, and thanks for the floating heart, Michael. He went, well, once she, called him out, and it went viral and everything. Thank you, Saeed Tay. And once it went viral, of course he had to come back. So he comes back, and he's talking all of this Mama Smurf and Baby Smurf. He says that the girl who he had the baby by, the lady probably like 21, 22, something like that. She might be a little older than that. But he is talking about, her and her mother, I mean, and talking about how her mother wouldn't allow him to see, her mother wouldn't allow him, to see her. And he talks about how he pays child support and he's not able to see his child. And it's so funny to me because while I know that there are women out there who use kids as pawns and, be tripping on the man to not let the man see them, but I feel like you're Dr. Umar, so it should be nothing that anybody can stop you from doing because you know somebody everywhere, like in every state. Like I'm sure he has, especially all the donations he done got to build this school. And yeah, Nisha, you heard about him, but he's gotten all these donations, and all he talks about is the woman not allowing him to see his kid. So first of all, this all came out because she went viral. It wasn't because he went viral, because he wasn't going viral talking about this woman crazy. She won't let me see my baby. Look how crazy this lady is. She keep telling me such. Like, it's so many ways that he could have seen his child. He claims that when she had the baby, she wanted the baby to drink from the white man's milk. She refused to breastfeed, and he wanted her to breastfeed, and she wanted to feed her baby with the white man's milk. I'm just like, these sound like a whole bunch of excuses to me. And while I'm sure y'all don't have the best relationship, and I'm sure that she is probably, attitudinal because of some of your inconsistencies, I don't feel like you were someone that she was depriving to see her child, because as soon as I don't know, 22 years ago, I'm sure he was probably known somewhere. He been doing this speaking for a very long time. So I'm sure that even back then, he was speaking somewhere. He went to college. I know he got his bachelor. I think he got his master's. He say he doctor, but I don't. I think people were arguing over the credentials for his doctorate. But I know you spoke somewhere. If not, shortly thereafter you blew up. And if you blew up and you were like known worldwide, why wouldn't you put that lady on blast right then and say, there is a child of mine out there, and this lady thinks that she's going to keep my child from me for the rest of my life. She has another thing coming, because I am about to put road to pavement. Like, you have to show that you put forth an effort to try to have a relationship or be familiar with this child. So now that she's gone viral, now you want to come to us with all of this. She wouldn't let me see my child. So now he says that what he's going to do, because since the young lady has come out, he just talks about it all the time now. So now it's like the topic of every conversation. So he ain't even talking about the school right now, because he's talking about his alleged estranged daughter. So now he wants to rally all together who are not able to see their child and who are paying child support. Now, listen, I know for a fact, I have brothers. So I know for a fact that the child support system is not a place for the black man. It is not. Hey, open book. Thank you for joining. I know myself that I have three brothers, who are men, and I'm a woman who's been in the system, but I know that the child support system is not a place for our black men. I did. I showed is gonna do not disturb. I don't know why it's ringing, but anyway, it's not a place for the black man. Hey, Danita, thank you for joining. It is not a place for the black man, and I have seen those judges. Hi, Monica, thank you for joining. And I have seen those judges rip our brothers to shreds. They will tear a young brother up. I'm talking about go off on them. I done seen a man cry over he had 4 kids and his child support was high and he was able to pay it initially and he ended up losing his job. And he asked the judge, can you please decrease this because I can't pay it. I don't have the means. And that judge sat right there in that man's face and told him, you made it once and I'm sure you're able to make it again. And I was like, that is so crazy. Because if he's making less money, he can't pay all that money to those. He had 4 kids. He couldn't pay all that money to those kids. He ain't making that no more. But she told him he better go out and find a way to do it. So I know that the child support system is horrible to black men. And I also know that there are women who weaponize their children against their fathers. So there are situations where the man is paying child support and because he does something or he doesn't do something, the women are saying that he can't see his child. That is a big problem. But however, I don't believe this is the case with Mr. Dr. Umar. I do not. I don't believe that this situation is that I don't believe that this is a situation where he can't see his kids. So he's rallying all the men that are paying child support and whose mothers, he said the mothers are deadbeat, and I quote, deadbeat mothers, his words, not mine. We gonna put an end to these deadbeat mothers. We gonna go to Congress. What did he say? He said we gonna go to we gonna march on the the congressional black caucus. That's what it was, Congressional Black Caucus. So that him and the men are going to march on this Congressional Black Caucus. And they are going to try to get some contempt rights put in place for women who the father is paying child support and they are trying to dictate when their father sees their child. If that father is paying child support and that it's coming out his check, it's direct deposited to you and it's coming out of his check automatically, I do not feel like he should have to be someone, no matter what he does. And I know we are, as mothers, we are very protective of our children, and the father's inconsistencies could mentally tear our children up. um I know the feeling. I know how that feels. I know where that would go. But I still do not feel like, as a woman, because we are the custodial parents and we are the ones who, control what the kids' day to day activities are, I do not feel like that their dads should be considered a spend a night place. I don't think that the dad should count as somewhere extracurricular, because they are not extracurricular. They are the kids' fathers. So if they are paying child support, even if they're inconsistent, I feel like the woman should let her child go. I had one of my kids' dads who was very inconsistent, and every time he'd call, I would get my baby together, because I felt like it don't matter who he is, who I think he is, and what I think about him being inconsistent. He's not my dad. So she may see him a whole nother way while he is coming once a month, or once every couple months, or however often he's coming. She may see that as a beautiful thing, and it's a treat, and it might take her a while to get to the point where I don't really want to deal with this man because he's inconsistent. But it's not up to me to say, oh, you too inconsistent. You can't see my child, because he was paying child support. And he did, have a financial obligation that he was fulfilling on a consistent basis, not willingly, but still he was fulfilling a financial situation that the courts made him fulfill. But the visitation was so inconsistent. But I wanted her to see that and be able to say that for herself. And once she was of age, she was able to say, I don't want to go with that man anymore. I do not want to stay the night. Now she would still go with her grandparents and stuff, but she did not want to stay with him. She didn't want to go anywhere with him. She didn't want to, if he came to the house and, they were just there chopping it up and just stayed there, she was okay with that. But she didn't want him to, she can't got to the place where she didn't want him to, take her to his house or anything like that. So, hello, Janet. Thank you for joining. So he was very inconsistent, but I mean, as her other parent, I didn't want to deprive her of that, and I didn't want to make a decision for her that she may have thought totally different once she became of age and she did not have it. So she's able to say that I on my own decided to not go with my dad. My mother did not say anything about anything when it came to my dad's visitation. I decided when I didn't want to go with him because he was so inconsistent, and she felt like, when he come around, if I got plans, I'm not about to drop my plans for you, and I ain't gonna hear from you next week. So I definitely get that part about it. But Dr. Umar is full of sugar honey iced tea. He is definitely full of it. So he says that if she doesn't have a conversation with him within these 2 weeks, that, oh, no, that wasn't even her. That was the second baby mother called the oldest mother and asked her something about them dating, he and his first baby mother. So he's saying that the second baby mother doesn't allow him to see his child either. And he said that if she doesn't produce his kid, it's probably been about 2 weeks since this happened, if not more. But if she doesn't produce his child, that he is going to expose her. I don't know what that means. I have no idea what he's trying to expose. If it was just a scare tactic, I have no idea. But he's saying that, he's never denied his children. He's always claimed them, I guess. Claimed them. He pays child support on time every month. I'm sure that it's not on time every month. If it is like that, it's probably coming out of his check automatically. But he said that he wants her to reach out to him and wants them to make a contract that is not that is outside of the white man's contract. He does not want a contract that involves the courts. He wants them to sit down and decide a visitation time, dates, and he doesn't want to go to her mother's house to see his child. He doesn't want to go visit her anywhere. He wants to be able to pick her up and take her with him. And he goes wherever it is that he goes. Now, that type of situation, I don't get that. Now, that's not going to fly with me. So, you have been absent from my child for however long. I don't even know how old the baby is. But you've been away from my child for all of this time. And you think that I'm going to trust that you take my child for a couple consecutive days away from me, and you talking like this? You doing all of this slick talk, and I'm gonna round up all the black men, and we gonna come together, and we going to Congress so we can. You think that I'm going to release my child to you to go anywhere? It won't happen on my watch. You will not pick my kid up and take my kid somewhere. I'm sure you don't want me to know where you live. So you want to pick my child up, who is still a very little minor, and you want to be able to take you want me to be able to trust you to take my child away from my care so that she can go with you, because you feel like you pay child support and you should be able to see your child whenever you want to, just like you felt like I should breastfeed my kid because she's yours too, and you feel like that's the way it should be. Now, if y'all were in a partnership or marriage, okay. I mean, but there are several reasons why women can't breastfeed. It's not always just, oh, that's her choice and she said no and she said that's not always the case. Sometimes women don't breastfeed because they can't. They really can't. The milk ducts are blocked. The baby doesn't latch in time, and it's hungry. Like, there are several reasons why new mothers do not breastfeed. But you took it upon yourself to say that she meant that she wasn't going to do it because he wanted her to do it. And now you want to be able to control your visitation with my kid, and you haven't been a constant in her life. Well, Dr. Umar, while I think that it is very sad and unfortunate when women try to keep their kids from their fathers, I think it's equally sad and unfortunate that you think that you should be able to come and pick up said child while not getting familiar with anybody in the family. Hey, Debbie, thanks for joining. Can y'all please hit the like button on the way in, please? And you think that you're going to take her away from here, like, and you're just coming back, I guess, I don't know from where, I don't know if she said you can't never see her no more, or you went over there and you said I don't want to see her at this house, or whatever the reason is or was. You feel like you should be able to see my kid away from me. You must be smoking the good dope, like the real good dope, because mine's won't leave my sight until I'm comfortable with you and the relationship that you have with her. She won't budge until I'm fully okay with your bond, your relationship, and how familiar she is with you. First of all, that's a little girl. I mean, and I don't even really want to say that's a little girl, because people do stuff to little boys too. But she has a daughter. We have to protect our daughters, because heaven forbid anything happens. I mean, okay, the authorities can handle it and whatnot, but my child's mental is will never be the same if one incident, it only takes one incident, one mistreatment, one cold shoulder, one anything that you can do to ruin a kid. It can be done when it's out of my sight. So unless you're gonna come over here and he say, I don't want to go over and I'm not about to come to your mama's house, and I'm not coming to visit you at your at the grandmother's house and all this, you don't want to see her. You don't even want to be bothered with her then, because I know you don't think that you're not gonna come over here and do these visitations consistently and do these visitations on a regular, so that I can be somebody who is comfortable with you and my child's dialogue, y'all bond, y'all relationship, y'all conversation. Like, I can't believe that you're going to take my child away from me and you're not going to just keep saying horrible things about me to her. And that's a form of torture to a kid. When you really love your mother and you just constantly hear somebody always downing and badgering her and talking about her mishaps and her shortcomings, that's not something a child wants to sit up and hear. So to be certain that that thing wouldn't happen, I would probably keep her with me in my care until you come to visit her. I'm gonna come every Wednesday after 6 o'clock. I'll spend an hour and a half, and we'll chop it up. And I mean, I'll get to know her, and we'll sit in another room off where it's just me and her. And once I see that effort, then okay, then I'll be okay with you, possibly taking her somewhere, of course, where you don't think I'm gonna know. But I'm definitely, my kid ain't never going nowhere where I don't know where it is. But he's just on this whole I don't know, smear campaign tour about this lady, the first baby mama. So the first baby mama is the older girl who is online, who exposed him. But in the midst of him speaking about her, he brought up the younger mama. He called the youngest baby mama number 2, Miss Vegan. So I'm assuming that she's probably vegan. That's why I don't know why he calls her that, but he ended up talking, bringing her into it. But I'm just feeling like that is a very like selfish thing to me. Like, he's on this whole tour about this child, and the young lady said that he's a deadbeat and he's not, the person he says he is. Because, of course, when you hear him online and on the Breakfast Club and on different interviews and stuff, he's talking about the black family and keeping the black family together. And he wants the mothers, to acknowledge the fathers and not be so hard on them about finding work and all this, because they are at least a unit, and he doesn't want a black family ruined. And he talks this big game, and he's all over the world speaking about this. And he talks so positively, like he's just so pro family and pro men seeing their children, and pro men loving black women, and just to be a deadbeat to your oldest kid. And then you come out, once she blows up and goes viral, you come out and say everything about her mother. Everything. And then you deflect and say, since baby mama number 2 want to be calling around and asking about my relationship with people, you got 2 weeks. You just shouldn't even open your mouth. But you haven't even addressed the elephant in the room, sir. But it's still going to be people who going to break their neck to go see him when he, in their town or whatever. But I was just saying that he a hypocrite, just like most of these guys to me that be talking all this crazy mess, all this red pill mess and all that. But he a fraud. Like, he's just a fraud. And while I agree that any woman who denies a man their child and they're paying child support, that is a huge no-no. I'm definitely not with that movement. I'm not down for any woman playing their kid as a pawn, using their kid as a pawn, just so they can get under the father's skin. But he says that he doesn't have a problem paying the child support. That isn't his issue. He has this problem with women who deprive the dads of their children. So he never said whether the oldest mother deprived him of her when she was little. But I was just saying that I don't think it would have been that difficult had Dr. Umar been interested in seeing his child. As soon as she told him, you can't see your kid because I don't want you to see her, he could have definitely, I'm not even going to speak about paying lawyers and going up before judges and all of that. I'm just saying, with the platform that you have, you can definitely say to her, to your audience, yeah, I'm sorry for putting y'all in a group chat, but I am so frustrated with such and such and so and so, and I have a beautiful baby girl who was just born last month or 2 weeks or 3 months ago, and her mother is trying to use her as leverage, and she already got the child support case open, and I'm willing to pay. Like, you could have went and gone on that tour and said that she is not allowing me to see my kid, and I really want to see my kid, but every time I ask her, they're busy or they have something to do, and it's never a good time for me to get my child. Then people would have definitely started feeling sorry for you, and you could have, with your audience, you could have easily broken her down and made her feel a way where she was like, yeah, you know what? I'm just going to let him go ahead and see her, because I'm not about to keep going through being blasted and, having to deal with this and all of that. But I'm feeling like he just a bunch of talk. He's a bunch of talk. He one of those people who, I guess, do as I say, not as I do. Or he wants to counsel everybody else about their situation, but he ain't even swept his front porch. And that is what the problem would be. Once you start doing all this activist speaking and you so strong about certain subjects, and then something comes out that you are not doing what you're supposed to do, like people start looking crazy and sideways at you, because why do you want to tackle these topics? Why do you want to discuss these things that are going on with kids and families and all? Like, you can just stay with the history of the Frederick Douglass, Marcus Garvey, and what you're doing with that school and what you want it to be and what your vision is for it, and stay out of the arena of parenting, because that's something that you just don't have a handle on right now. So you want to just, kick it about your African Americanism and black pride and all of the stuff that you talk about, all of the nuggets that you give, all the education, informative information that you have, everything about everything. You want to just make sure that you stay on task, and you want to stay clear away from any subjects or conversations when it comes to deadbeat mothers and kids being a part of their fathers being a part of their kids' lives, and especially when you know that this is something that you're currently dealing with. Currently, like, we ain't saying nothing that you dealt with 5 years ago. We talking about in the moment, like currently, like right now, like this second, you dealing with, I haven't seen my kid in 5 years. I haven't seen my kid in 6 years. I haven't seen my kid in 16 years. I didn't go to my daughter's graduation. I didn't see my daughter do, like, you haven't been there for any of these things, sir. You are a joke at this point, because why would I pay to come see you or donate anything to you, and you're the very man that you talk about? You're the very man that you're saying you don't want black women to have to be around or have to be with or entertain, period. You the one that's saying that you want these black men to continue to better themselves because they're around their children, and their children are looking at them to be the leaders of the family, and to make sure that they're carrying on in a positive manner, because you want these children to continue to look up to their fathers, and their fathers to continue to be their role models and their heroes, and you want the boys to look at their dad as a he-man, and you want the girls to look at their dads as superheroes. Like, you speak all this is your rhetoric and all that you talk about, and meanwhile you have a whole child that you have never laid eyes on, sir. And then when you get checked with it, you want to deflect and make this about, hey, Peachy, you want to deflect, and I don't want I don't want to talk about her. I want to talk about the youngest kid's mother. And now you on a whole nother tangent. Now you talking about what you ain't doing for her if she don't show up in 2 weeks, and what you gonna put her through, and what you gonna expose. Hey, Peachy, Welcome. Thank you for joining. Hey, hello, Keith. Thank you for joining. But yeah, this whole thing is, it's just he's a fraud. He's just a fraud to me. And while I really, I thought the school was a very good idea. If he was to open up a school for young black boys and all hired all black male teachers to kind of counsel to them and all this, I think that would be a very, very good idea. And he had plenty of funding to be able to open the school and even start with something. I mean, maybe one class. Just start with one class. Because we gotta walk before we can run. So you can open up. He hasn't even done that. So with that, and every other year, it's a new year for the school starting. I remember he was starting when I first started hearing about him starting this school. It was probably like 2015. I remember this, like hearing about him starting his school. It was like 2015, and it was supposed to be done by 2018. Then it was supposed to be done by 2020. Then he got the building, and he got the inspection, and he got the painters in there. And then he was going up to the school and filming the school and everything around. This is gym. This was my chemistry lab. This my chemistry lab gonna be. This over here. This where the kids gonna get their counseling, because I'm gonna have a counselor, mental health counselor. Like, it was like he had every room and every sector planned out, and he keep pushing the date back. It's I think it's pushed back to 2028 now. Not here on 2028. That he done got all of these donations, all of this money, and where's the school, sir? So now, while we was looking at you sideways about that school, here come a kid that come out the woodworks and say she ain't never seen her daddy. She ain't never met her daddy, but she's saying, like, I ain't never met him, but he also is not trying to put forth an effort to visit me, to come see me. So now that we have questions about that, you're continuing to come through and mention it, because he done did about 10 lives. I mean, I'm like, oh God, can you please just leave this dead dog alone? Because I mean, you came out, you addressed it, you might have forgot something that first time, and then you addressed it again, and then you might have said a couple of more things about it, but to just continue on talking about it, I think that's probably the sign of admitting guilt, maybe, or he's trying to like clean up his mess on aisle 4, and he's like, oh my goodness, and he gotta just pull something out of his behind to try not to lose a majority of his audience, which is single black women who are probably going through the very situation that he is causing this woman to go through, baby mama number 1, so he say. So you listening to a bunch of women cry to you about their children and how their children don't have a role model and how they need their sons to get into some positive after school activities so that they don't have so much idle time. And they're asking you for your advice and asking you what should they do and where can they go, and they're looking for resources from you. And the whole time you are exactly what they baby daddies are. You are a absent parent. You are a parent who feels like as long as you got a good enough excuse, that means you don't need to see your child. As long as you able to say, oh, she ain't let me see, she ain't even, as long as you able to say something like that, then this all you need. This is it. You just got 3 little excuses in rotation. And the excuses didn't come before the kid, because maybe you would have had a little leeway had you mentioned her before and said, I really don't like putting my personal business out here, but I got a such and such year old, and me and her mother, we are always at odds, and it's always an issue, and we've argued and we've done such and such, not going too deep into it, but at least notifying the people, especially before anybody else comes out and do it. You have to be vocal about your own situation, and nobody else can use it against you. Like, you would have gotten ahead of it, because you would have said, before y'all hear all this on the blogs and see it on the internet, I'm just gonna go and tell y'all, I'm dealing with such and such in my personal life, and just pray for me and wish me luck that I can, overcome this situation. Like, whatever the words could have been, it could have been something said that you acknowledged the fact that you had this child. You took a paternity test. She said y'all took a paternity test. And you said y'all took a paternity test. You know for a fact that she's yours. So what happened now? Who did it? Because I don't believe you. You need more people. I think you bullshit. That's what I think. I think that whatever you say is hogwash, and we can't look into it and believe half of it, because now the first I looked at the school situation, and I just knew that you was pulling money out the pot, thinking that it's a petty cash fund, and they trying to donate to you opening up a school that they could one day send their son to, and you ain't never gonna open it up. But now this done come out, and I don't know how good he gonna do at his little rallies and stuff now, because as much as he did all them videos that he did trying to redeem himself, I don't think he did a good job. That's my personal belief, my opinion, and I don't feel like he did all he could do. I don't feel like he's at a place where he's able to give this much of an input as far as the black family goes. I think he should probably stay off of that. I think that shouldn't be a topic. I feel like if he wants to talk about African American and I'm black and I'm proud, we can do that all day and night. All day and night. But when it comes to this family thing, I don't think it can happen. Yeah, so I just came before you because I just had a think piece on my mind, and I just wanted to bring it to y'all and talk about it this Saturday evening. I won't hold y'all long. Thanks so much, Swig Squad. Thank you for the people that joined. Thank you for the people that will watch it on replay. I appreciate you all. And continue to like, comment, and subscribe. And I am T with the Diva. I will holler at y'all later. All right, Sweet Squad.